In the past 6 months, I've generated my clients deals that are worth millions without me personally reaching out to anyone, without me handling a big team of SDRs, and without paying tons of money for fancy software tools. I've built a system that runs without my intervention that has booked calls that are worth millions to my clients. And while I did that, I was 2 months on a vacation in Thailand where my system ran almost entirely without my interference. I basically worked 1 to 2 hours per week while the system booked calls with qualified buyers for my clients. So in this video, I'm going to show you the step-by-step method of making a go-to-market system that will run without your interference and will get you buyers who will translate into actual money. I'm going to show you the entire method, everything that I've done that made it work, the areas where I personally failed, and everything you need to know to make a go-to-market system that will make you tons of money and will run without much intervention from your side. So just for context, in the past 12 months, we've sent 562,000 emails, and we've generated from that 904 leads that we distributed across our clients. And we are getting tens of leads, close to 100 leads per month for our clients. And we are able to get consistent results every month. So here are some of the examples of the leads that we are getting from these go-to-market systems. Here is one lead where we got a call of an account spending $45,000 to $50,000 on their cloud bill, and my clients are cloud resellers. So the ROI on this deal is going to be insane when it closes. So just so you understand the math of the deals we're generating, a client that spends $50,000 on their cloud bill per month, it's a $600,000 annual spend on the cloud. So usually resellers make $7 on the dollar of cloud spend. So the lifetime value of this deal is going to be in the millions when it closes, and that's just what's possible when you're making the right go-to-market systems that run completely autonomous, just with a person that turns the positive interest into booked calls. You can just build it once and let it run and get rich doing it. So the main problem that usually happens with agencies and marketing departments and people who are in charge of getting the leads but not closing them is that they optimize for getting as much leads as possible that won't necessarily close into paying revenue. And this is especially true in B2B and especially true in cold outbound. So you might pay an agency that will get you 10 booked calls per month that show up, but the leads themselves, they might be the right ICP, but they are not having the right intent, because what the agency and the marketing person is optimizing for is getting the most amount of leads with ICP on paper. But these leads usually are not high intent. They don't fully understand what you're doing. Maybe they are looking for something that the email offered that you don't necessarily want to sell them or won't necessarily translate into actual revenue for you, and it won't turn into a closed deal that will pay you money down the line. So you need to understand what kind of buyer actually buys the service and not just the ICP on paper. And when you do that and you actually reach out to those people with the message that is adjusted to their frequency that will make them convert from a cold lead into someone who shows interest, you need to understand how to talk to the right people with the right message, basically, and not just optimize for leads that are top of funnel that won't convert to anything. So just for context, how I got into building this system is that I was a general agency like most people. I started by getting clients and figuring out how to market their services with cold email and how to get them leads. And for each client, it was very hard fulfilling at the start because we had to do A/B testing and we had to find out what actually converts in their industry. And most people don't know their product market fit, and they don't know who to actually sell to and what kind of messaging to use. So every new client that I closed, I basically had to do product market fit for them. But right now, because I found this one big niche that has a lot of similar type of clients that are looking for the same type of leads, I'm able to just replicate that process across many clients, and my fulfillment process is just general that I can duplicate per new clients that I'm getting. So because of that, whenever I close a new client, I know how to get them leads because I've already done it for their peers, and it's the exact same messaging, the exact same personas, and everything stays the same basically. And because I own that messaging and I understand their buyers probably better than they do because I've seen what's working for their peers and what's not working for their peers, I'm able to go to calls and close deals and get them actual leads that are interested in the service because I understand their buyers usually better than they do. The lesson you should understand here is that you need to look at the entire funnel and not just optimize for leads. You need to get leads who will actually convert into paying customers. And you need to identify all of the friction points in the funnel, and based on that, get the leads that will likely convert. Because when someone is paying for leads, if you get them less leads that will close more, they will probably keep paying you and will be even more happy that you don't waste their time with leads that are not valuable. So here is something you should keep in mind, that that's how I view basically go to market. I don't just look at the top of funnel at the leads that I need to generate. I look at the entire funnel and how do I get leads that will likely turn into revenue. Here is my full setup and how I managed to build that system that generated 900 leads in 12 months and is getting booked calls for my clients every month that are actually turning into revenue. So there are 5 stages for this machine, and I'm going to go over each one of these, and this is the actual sauce and how you make systems that run without you and generate money. Before you start doing anything, make a list of your entire market. So every company that could buy, and not just a monthly badge that is 10% of your total addressable market, make your entire TAM in one sheet, and this is your starting point. You need to hit your entire TAM, and you need to score every company. So you remove the weak fit ones, or you just keep them at the end. But you need to reach out to all of the qualified good prospects that you have in your market at the start of the campaigns, and do high volume so you can find out what converts best for your specific market. The way I structure my system is that I don't run out of leads. I have a list that I reach out to. Every 45 days, I reach out to my entire list, and every time we slightly tweak the messaging so it's not the same message being spammed. And with that, we are getting consistent results, and the results are not dropping just because we found what people actually care about, and we send them that message slightly tweaked every 45 days, and the results are not degrading. Because maybe if it was 2020 or 2018, where cold email was not as big as it is today, people used to get some cold emails, so they might remember what you send them, and if they see your name coming up again and again, they will get mad. But in these days, people are getting so many cold emails that even if you reach out to them once every 2 weeks, there is a high chance that they'll never remember your name because they're getting 20 other cold emails per day. So don't be afraid to reach out to these people again, unless they told you don't reach out. But if they didn't tell you don't reach out, you can keep sending them messages once every 45 days if you want to be safe. And that way the campaigns are just going to run forever, and you're going to get results forever as long as everything stays intact. But this is my method of getting continuous leads. People don't remember who you are. They don't care. Just keep sending them the messages until you find something that works. And once you find something that works, send it every 45 days. So before we found what's actually working for us right now, which I'm not going to reveal because if I do, people will copy it and it will stop working, I can just tell you that I tested 50 plus variations of this copy and different types of ways I framed what we're selling to our buyers. And in the end, we found a couple of winning combinations that we are continuously running and tweaking slightly every month that we reach out again to our TAM. But what I can tell you that is always stayed consistent is that short emails always tend to win and get the best results from my experience. Every time I tested long emails, they didn't convert. Medium emails converted at some level, but short emails that are simple just tend to convert the best from my experience and from what I'm seeing across clients. And aside from that, basically what matters is that your email is short, like I'll say in the 60 words mark-ish. That's usually the perfect balance in terms of length for the cold email. And simple emails beat clever. So a lot of people try to do fancy cold email personalizations with AI and all of that stuff that in my experience doesn't actually convert into anything, and it's just a waste of tokens and a waste of money and just a way to look fancy without actually getting results. The only benefit I can tell you is that if you send really high volume cold email, it's a great way to add more spin tags to your messaging, and in that case it's actually beneficial. But if you're not sending tons of emails, there's no point personalizing your message because it doesn't actually convert the leads better. The only thing the leads care about is your offer, and there's much higher leverage in framing your offer slightly different in a way that they'll make them care more, instead of just making personalized AI lines that won't convert into anything and the prospects won't actually care about them. So the shorter and the simpler and the more specific you are, you need to be specific to your buyers. So by specific, I mean if you have a B2B SaaS list, segment it per type of sub-industry. So maybe 60% is AI startups, and maybe 20% is biotech startups, and maybe 10% is machine learning startups. Adjust your offer slightly based on the segment, and this is the actual personalization that will make you convert higher. One example is that instead of saying we'll generate you leads, say we'll generate you Series A funded companies that are looking for biotech services. I don't know anything about biotech, but just use the type of lingo that you use in biotech if you have actual results in those segments, and make sure that the message is as specific as you can while being simple to grasp and while being short. That's the winning combination that I see consistently win on cold email. In stage 3, once you found a winning message that actually converts cold traffic into positive responses, you can just systemize it with Claude. So here is an example of my system. Every Sunday, it pulls out 2 CSVs and refills my campaigns based on our initial TAM list that we made. And it's just showing me a couple of examples of the leads that it wants to add. And I can just manually check that they are actually a good fit for our offer. And I can open the entire CSV and pick manual leads and see they are actually good fit leads. And I just click approve, and Claude Code automatically adds these lists for our campaigns. And that way, I basically don't need to do anything. I have the winning messages. We just keep sending the emails to the same lists with the winning messages. And my involvement in this entire process is less than 1 hour per week, because it's just when the reply rates are starting to drop because of inboxes fatigue, then we rotate the infrastructure. But aside from that, we just do slight tweaks to the copy, and we just reach out to the same type of people, and we are getting consistent results, and it's working extremely well for our clients. The next stage is replying to the cold emails, which is one of the most important stages that a lot of companies don't do as well as they should. And here is my personal pitfall in this entire situation. I try to automate replies. I'm very savvy with Claude Code. I know how to make stuff with AI, and I try to make a reply agent who will take those leads and will turn them into booked calls without any human involvement. Just for my side, I have SOPs for every type of response we can get, because we are sending the same type of messages to the same type of people. I have a template for every type of response we are getting. So I tried to plug it into a AI agent that will respond based on those templates, and it actually worked. Like, it did answer those emails and it did everything correct. But because we have different type of clients, they have the different type of CRMs, so there were too many APIs to deal with, and for me it just didn't make sense investing all of the time just to save some money on an appointment center that I can pay $500 per month to someone from India who will do it right, and he's hungry and will do it in terms of responding to leads as good or better than AI, but he can actually do stuff that isn't programmatic, like doing data entry in their CRM without having APIs and all of that stuff. So the lesson you should understand from this is try to automate everything that is easy to automate and has high returns, but stuff like replying to emails, this is like a lot of work to make inbox agents that will actually work and are scalable and don't break. And a lot of times it's just better to get a human to deal with it, because you can get VAs for a couple $100 per month that will do the job well, instead of spending 2 months on making an inbox agent that will save you like $5,000 per year. So this is the result that we are getting from this type of go-to-market system. I just go to my client Slack, I ask them, hey, how was the call? Just to get feedback and see that everything is running smoothly. And as you can see, hi, sure, we'll let you know. Hey, the call went well. It was a good lead. Thank you. So that way we just have a continuous feedback loop with our clients. We see, okay, this is the lead, we got them, everything is running. Let's see the quality actually stays good, and it stays good because we found what's working and we automated it. Another extremely important thing for this thing to work is that you need to log everything. So I made basically a ledger on Google Sheets that tracks every cold email that we are sending. So we have an API from Instantly connected to that sheet, and every action that happens on Instantly is being logged in that sheet. So we always know how many emails we sent this month, when is the last time this person has been contacted, and based on that we can refill our lead lists without risking reaching out to the same person 3 days later. And we are always playing with who we are targeting at what time and waiting for 45 days to pass, so we don't really burn our lists. And that way you can track things in a smart way and make sure that everything is getting tracked, and you'll keep reaching out to people. And when you have everything logged in, you have a bunch of data that you can analyze and see what worked and what didn't work, what kind of domains are working the best compared to other domains, what kind of prospects tend to answer more than compared to other prospects. So you have a bunch of data that you can analyze per month and continuously improve the system. And like, you can just set up an AI that will be based on the way you think and how you see copy and how you see making good offers. And the AI will just take a look at the data and spin up new variations of copy. And you can just let it run without your interference and actually get booked calls. And this is what we're actually doing right now. We are building this agent that is based on my way of thinking, and it's going to continuously spin up new variations and A/B test them compared to our winning variations until we get stuff that is working better and better and better, and we'll continuously improve this funnel until it's the best that it can possibly be. So to sum things up, there are 4 main things that you need to make these systems that run without you and actually generate money. You need to test a lot of stuff. So get a list of your entire market and just spin up 10, 20, 30, 50 variations of different type of copies and different type of offers, framings, and different type of personas that you're reaching out to, and try to play with the wording and how you frame your offer, which is probably the most important thing. Like, if you need to test your copy, the main thing you should test is the way you frame your offer, then the type of copy that you use, like the wording and the structure of the email itself, and then like CTAs and small stuff like that has incremental improvements, but it's not going to be like a game changer. But the way you frame your offer is going to be a game changer, so a lot of your effort should go into that. So that's on testing. The second thing you should do is, when you find something that works, make an SOP based on every step that made this thing work. So we sourced this type of leads, we sent this type of message, and we reached out to this type of persona in this type of size. So my ICP is extremely clear after we've done all of this testing. We know what employee bands work the best, what kind of prospects, what type of messaging, the length. We know everything, and that way we can get continuous results because we keep reaching out to our winning prospects. But in your case, just iterate and find something that works, and then write everything that made this thing work, and then look at the steps that made this thing work and try to automate everything that you can actually automate with Claude Code. And the more you remove, the more autonomous the system will be, and over time you want to keep automating more things and continually improve, and that's how I see go-to-market in 2026. And the third thing that is important long-term is that you log every single action that happens. That way you don't burn the list, and you don't just reach out to the same person every 3 days. You know when you reached out to that person the last time, and based on that you know when to reach out to them again. And the fourth thing, as I said, just look at your entire process and see what you can automate with AI, and where variables are few and when you don't need much judgment and your brain, and the things that you can automate, and over the time just automate more until everything is like 90% AI. And just something nice for you to see. This is a picture from me in Thailand drinking a mango smoothie while the system was running. And when I generated tens of leads per month for my clients without working, the emails were getting sent, the positive responses were being generated, and my appointment setter booked them for my clients. And this is not because AI is magic, it's because every step was systemized, and I had one person who handled the manual layer that was needed to be present, and it's just reverse engineering what works and seeing how you can remove yourself from the equation and how you can let it run without your interference. So if you got value from this video, you can reach out to me on growthgrid.org. This is my website. You can book a call with me and we'll see how we can implement these type of systems in your business and get you leads every month predictably. Right now, because I learned this skill, I no longer like fear or worry about my future, because I know no matter what, I can generate attention and turn it into money because I know how to make this type of system. So I think your life, no joke, I think your life can change from making the right system. Like, you'll just know that you can always bring new business, and I think it's a serious game changer for you. And if I was a business owner and I didn't know it, I think my life would be 10 times worse. So if you're interested, feel free to reach out to me. And if you have questions, you can write to me on LinkedIn. I'm going to have the link in the description of this video, or you can just leave comments on this video. And if you want to get more tips and more stuff that actually works in 2026, you can subscribe to this YouTube channel because I'm going to post more stuff every week. And I hope to see you again soon.